It's Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. Thanks for joining me today. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. And please share these videos all over your social media. And if you really want to support the channel, subscribe, hit the bell notification down below. Let's get into what's going on today. Markets were pretty flat today, and we continue to see more bad news trickling in. It's getting much more difficult to cover up the bad news. It's getting much more difficult to sweep this stuff under the rug because the layoffs are getting bigger. We're watching shares of certain companies plunge at record-breaking numbers, and we're looking at the average American in very, very big trouble, taking on a whole lot of debt just to try and survive. Dollar Tree shares plunged 22% after discounter cuts full year forecast. This is on CNBC today. Dollar Tree cut its full year outlook, citing increasing pressures on middle income and higher income customers. Middle income and higher income customers. This was unheard of years ago, that middle income and high income customers are shopping at a discount store. Now you're seeing people in the middle class and above the middle class having to shop at these stores now. And what's happening? They're spending less money at these stores. So more people are pulling back, and it's having a huge effect on these companies. I think that the average American better wake up and smell the coffee, because this is a huge barometer, a canary in the coal mine to what is happening to the U.S. economy. And as I'm watching some of the financial channels today, I saw a word being used called recession, that maybe now it's not going to be such a soft landing. Maybe there is a chance that we're going into recession. It's just absolutely amazing that we cannot admit that we've been in a recession for probably well over a year at this point, that we're into something much more serious than a recession at this point. Here's another one. Gold hits two-week low as traders expect smaller U.S. Fed rate cut. Again, everything flat today. Markets want to hear the good news that the Fed's going to come in and cut rates multiple times, more than 25 basis points. But now the markets are beginning to digest what's really going to happen. The realization that the September cut is going to be 25 basis points, not 50, not 75, but 25. But look, at the end of the day, we're getting more inflation. Gold and silver are going to continue to climb from what I can see, because inflation is not going to go away. 25 basis point rate cut, it's just going to cause more inflation. We're going to get more cuts. Maybe we'll get bigger cuts at some point, but a 25 basis point rate cut in September, maybe we have one or two more this year. I don't know. What's it going to do? It's not going to help the average American. It is going to cause more inflation. The markets just want more cuts. They want bigger cuts. It will help the people at the very top. It is going to absolutely devastate the people down below. Nvidia shares up after plunge that wiped out nearly $300 billion in market cap. This article came out earlier today, but guess what? By the end of the day, Nvidia actually fell 1.66%. So falling again. And there's a big concern now that all this AI, all these tech stocks are coming under pressure as the economy slows down. Other companies don't need as many chips when the economy slows down. They're not buying as many chips. And if we begin to see a slowdown in tech, it is going to absolutely be catastrophic for the U.S. stock market. Here's another one today from CNBC. U.S. steel shares plunge on report White House preparing to block Nippon Steel takeover. The president, it is reported, will block the $14.9 billion takeover. I believe Harris said she would block it. I believe, if I heard correctly, Trump would also block it. They don't want a foreign country coming in and buying U.S. steel. Now, what do you think about this? By the way, they were down 17.47% today. U.S. Steel CEO David Burritt said blocking the deal would result in plant closures. This would be thousands of job losses. So do we let an ally like Japan come in and buy U.S. steel? It is sad. I think it's really sad that a foreign country, even though an ally, is coming in, possibly buying U.S. steel. I think that it should stay a U.S. company, but at the same time, if we don't allow this deal to go through with Nippon, who plans to invest $3 billion into the company's older mills, this would save thousands of jobs, maybe even create more jobs. What do you think about this? I do believe it should be a U.S. company, but I'm not ruling out that maybe you let an ally like Japan come in and invest billions of dollars. But why can't a U.S. company do this? It's just amazing. All this money that is being spent all over the world, yet we don't have a buyer for our own steel company, an iconic, historic company, U.S. Steel. What do you think about this? Should this deal go through? Should it be halted? Let me know your thoughts down below. Job openings fell more than expected in July, another sign of labor market softening. Job openings fell to their lowest level in 3.5 years in July. Available positions right now, if you need a job, there's 7.67 million jobs out there. Let's be realistic. Many of these jobs are part-time. Many of these jobs are government jobs. Many of these jobs are fake, absolutely fake. The labor market is now seizing up. I don't believe, I could be wrong. Let me know your thoughts on this. Are there actually 7.67 million jobs out there or less? I believe there's a lot less. I think these numbers are extremely fabricated. Many of these jobs are government jobs. Many of these jobs are part-time. And many of these jobs don't even exist. I think we need to come to the realization of that. Another thing I'd like to point out is don't lose your job, because there's a lot less jobs out there than we're being told, and a lot less good jobs out there. If you're making decent money right now and you don't like your job, you need to somehow like it and keep it until hopefully something changes. But good jobs are getting very, very difficult to find. They're getting difficult to replace. So make sure you do whatever you can to keep your job, because more layoffs are coming. The economy is seizing up. The layoffs are going to continue to accelerate. I think we're going to see record numbers of people lose their jobs, unfortunately. But this economy, I've spoke to more people today. I spoke to a good friend of mine today in Arizona, and so many people saying the same thing. We are past the point of no return. This cannot be salvaged. This cannot be saved. The ship is going down. So I hate to be pessimistic. I would like to be optimistic that somehow this thing can be turned around, that it can be salvaged, it can be saved. But are we past the point of no return? Can this economy even be saved? There's so much debt. When you begin to add up not just the $35 trillion of national debt, but you start adding up unfunded liabilities, Medicare, Medicaid, we are well over $200 trillion in debt. These are numbers that can never be paid back. Should America just at some point default, we are bankrupt. Maybe the only way out is to default. Maybe we have to bring gold in and reprice gold as a percentage of our currency. I don't know. I don't have the answer. This is way over my pay scale. What do you think? But something is going to happen here very, very soon, because we are certainly writing checks that we cannot cash, ladies and gentlemen, and the debts keep getting bigger. They're getting higher. The world is watching this. And at some point, your currency becomes worthless by doing this. This is just basic history. Countries that print money out of thin air over a period of time, their currencies blow up. They're worthless. So how close are we to something like that? I think every day we're getting very, very close to something. The hedge today, stunning chart ahead of Friday's job report. This article made a very, very good point. If you get a couple minutes, check it out. Check all these articles out. A stunning chart ahead of Friday's job report. What will Friday's job report look like? I don't think it's going to look great, but remember, these numbers are extremely manipulated. If they come in bad, you know that they're much worse than they're reporting. It's getting much more difficult to cover up the destruction of the economy. It's getting much more difficult to cover up people losing their jobs. We have many more people unemployed than is being reported. We've seen a major slowdown in construction, haven't we? And if we look at these metrics right here, we're just talking construction jobs. High interest rates, not good for construction jobs. New housing starts in free fall, not good. Lagging housing completions are unchanged in 2 years. Not good. According to today's JOLTS report, construction jobs have tumbled from an all-time high of 456,000 in February to a 4-year low of 248,000 in July, a near 50% plunge in just 6 months. And yet, the Department of Labor says that the number has never been higher with construction jobs, 950,000. So there's a huge disconnect between these numbers, and it tells you and I that someone is lying. Someone is lying. And we are witnessing a massive slowdown in home sales and a massive collapse in housing. The real estate market is in shambles. And, it is very fascinating that, at some point, when people are not buying homes, it is going to correct prices. What is a house worth? Let me ask all of you this. What is a house worth if nobody is buying it? What is that house worth if there are no buyers? That is what we're seeing now. The buyers are disappearing. They're waiting. They're not gonna pay these prices, and they are waiting on the sidelines, and they're going to wait it out. So what is a house worth today if nobody is willing to buy it? Something is going to have to give. Healthcare shrinkflation hitting Americans with higher costs, longer wait times. This on Fox Business. 1 in 5 people were waiting months for a doctor's appointment. Months. It is unbelievable yet again. With the quality of service that we are seeing in America, the quality of vehicles, the quality of food, the quality of our medical system or health system. 1 in 5 people waiting months to see a doctor. If you have a serious issue and you have to wait 2, 3, 4 months to see a doctor, it could be much more serious. It could be life-threatening at that point. What in the world is going on here? I would say my best advice today is stay out of the system the best that you can. And that means being healthy. It's imperative to get your body in shape and to avoid having to go to the hospital, avoid going to the doctor. Get yourself in shape. And I think that preventative maintenance and being proactive is one of the best things you can do. Look, I think it's great that we have wonderful doctors and that there's options out there. But obviously, if I broke my arm, I'm going to see a doctor immediately. But right now, I'm going to do whatever I can to stay as healthy as I can so I can avoid being in the system. I don't want to be in the system. You do not want to be spending hours and months waiting for a doctor or hours at an emergency room. You want to stay away from this. So be proactive about your health. And I want to wind it down with this last article as we're talking about health. And I don't want to talk about just physical health, but this article from studyfinds.org, mental toughness might be more important than your diet. I think that is really important now with everything that is happening. People are losing jobs. They're falling behind on rent, their mortgages, their cars are being repossessed. There's so much happening. And this is just the beginning stages of the pain. More pain is coming as we get deeper into this depression. And I know that it's very important to get your body in shape. Just did an hour and a half of jiu-jitsu today. And that's not just for physical improvement. It is for mental toughness. This is why, my good friend Ryan, Enrique, myself, this is why we do jiu-jitsu. This is why we box. Because not just to get in better shape and to get stronger and be able to take care of yourself, but it's the mental toughness that you learn that when your body wants to quit, you don't let it. When there's pain, you don't quit. And so I think that this article on studyfinds.org is very interesting. It makes a lot of sense because mental toughness is something that we all need to be working on now, because as we get deeper into these tough times and quite possibly seeing a Mad Max scenario taking place right here in America with everything that's happening, everything that could happen, it just takes one incident and we're in big trouble and we're in that Mad Max situation. And if you don't have mental toughness, look, you can be in the best shape of your life. You can bench, 350 pounds, 400 pounds. You can run 10 miles and that's great. But at the end of the day, if you don't have mental toughness, if you can't engage, if you can't deal with chaotic times and chaotic people, it doesn't matter how many burpees, how many sit-ups, how many miles you can run. If you don't have mental toughness, and if you cannot physically take care of yourself, mentally, physically, and defend yourself, you're going to be in very, very big trouble. So all the people out there that are able-bodied to do this, you need to be working on your mental toughness. You need to be working on your physical toughness, and you need to be putting all this together. Remember, as I've said many times, this is a multi-dimensional game now, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot be just one-dimensional player here. You got to be multi-dimensional. You got to have an arsenal, mental, physical, spiritual, financial, everything around the table here. You got to be working on. If you're lacking any of this, you could be in trouble. Again, if you're in the best shape and you have, gold and silver, you have food and you have all the toys and all that stuff, all the gear. If you don't have mental toughness, you will not survive. Mental toughness is one of the most important assets you can have in tough times, because you're going to be dealing with maybe psychotic, chaotic people. And if you're not mentally tough to deal with this, you're going to fall to this. You're going to be a victim to this. Your family is going to be a victim to this. So make sure that we're all working on mental toughness, getting in shape, learning how to defend ourselves, getting out to the range, working with our tools, and knowing how to take care of ourselves and defend ourselves, our families, our assets, everything across the board. So be multidimensional. I'm going to leave it there today. Please comment down below on anything, on any of these articles, anything I'm talking about today, whether you agree, don't agree. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Let everybody know your thoughts. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate everybody tuning in today. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I look forward to speaking to each and every one of you. Be careful out there. God bless every one of you. Thank God that you're alive today. Thank God that you're thinking for yourself, that you're healthy, and that you're awake and preparing. Take care. Talk to all of you soon.